Assalamu alaikum. Before I speak to you for a few moments, I have the honor and the distinct privilege of honoring a giant in the American Muslim community. In the year 2006, I was humbled to be given an award by CAIR-MI for the Sayyid Salman Community Service Award. And may Allah's mercy be upon our brother Sayyid Salman. The person who awarded me that award, who I felt bashful getting that award from, I felt that I should have been awarding that day, but now I have the pleasure of awarding him today. Today, CAIR Michigan honors the Honorable Adam Shakoor. This man is a true legend in our community. Many people don't know who he is, but just to name to you some of his accomplishments before he speaks with us. In 1979, he argued in court a groundbreaking and first-of-the-kind case. On the west side of Detroit, off of Linwood and Burlingame, Masjid Wali Muhammad had put the loudspeakers on the roof and called the adhan. And there were neighbors who complained. And it was Judge Shakoor who represented Masjid Wali Muhammad in 1979. And he successfully argued that the calling the adhan at the decibel level, at a certain decibel level, that was at the same decibel level of churches down the street who were ringing the bell were the exact same thing of how churches ring bells to call people to prayer. The adhan calls people to prayer, and alhamdulillah, this was the first time in American history, right here in Detroit, where Muslims legally began to call the adhan, which is now called in Dearborn, in Hamtramck, and other cities in the United States of America. Also in 1979, he argued a case on behalf of some Muslims who were inmates who were not given in MDOC proper religious accommodations. And he successfully sued that paved the way for us to have Muslim chaplains in the correctional facilities in Michigan in 1979. And this is how Imam Mardini, Muhammad Mardini, became the first Muslim chaplain in Michigan due to the litigation of Adam Shakoor. Adam Shakoor later became the first Muslim judge in these United States of America, where he served on the federal court, right here. And one other note, and also relating to civil rights, and we gave our 2 civil rights awards relating to Rosa Parks scholarships. From 1995 until the day that she passed, the Honorable Adam Shakoor was the personal attorney of Mother Rosa Parks. Without further ado, I'd like to call up one of my heroes, a mentor, and an inspiration to many of us, and you don't know how many people you've inspired, the Honorable Adam Shakoor.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much, Brother Dawood and CAIR. Just one brief correction. I did serve as a judge, but it was the 36th District Court, which is a state court. And it was my honor to be the first Muslim in America, North America, as I know, Canada or the United States, to serve as a judge. And I want to give honor to the former governor of this state, William Milliken, who called me in December of 1980, and he said, "I have an honor to bestow upon you, if you will accept it." And I said, "What is that, Governor Milliken?" He said, "I would like for you to become a judge, and I am appointing you to the Common Pleas Court for Wayne County, Michigan." That court no longer exists. It was folded over into the Recorder's Court, and the 36th District Court was born. That was in 1981. Let me just briefly state, it was my honor to serve. When the Masjid Wali Muhammad contacted me regarding the citation they received for calling the adhan, that I was very much delighted that they had called me, because as a young attorney, they had used other attorneys in the past, but as a young attorney, they were giving me a belief in my ability to represent them. It was the first case of representing them, although I'd handled many cases for other organizations. So that was my honor. And I certainly want to thank the many brothers and sisters that were members of Masjid Wali Muhammad under the leadership of Imam Warfdeen Muhammad. And of course, as a result of becoming the attorney for the masjid, it brought me to the attention of what later became those persons that enabled me to become a judge. So in becoming a Muslim, as I did as a student at Wayne State University, some 47 years ago, it is certainly something that has served me not just from a spiritual standpoint, but also from a standpoint of honing my skills and giving me direction as an attorney. And I want to say to the young people, especially the young attorneys and those who aspire to being attorneys, service is a critical aspect of becoming a part of this wonderful profession of law. And I've tried as best as I could to be of service. I thank those brothers who contacted me at Jackson Prison to represent them. They filed their case on their own, and I took over in the federal court and brought a judge over to Jackson for a hearing and for him to see exactly what was going on there, and was able to, through argument, have the ability to have the chaplains now hired. They no longer had to have a Baptist minister serve as their chaplain. They had the ability to celebrate the month of Ramadan and had the dietary practices as they were. And I want to thank Samuel Searles Rockman, Derek Draw Ali, for having the confidence in me to bring me into the case that brought the relief that was sought. And most importantly, Mrs. Rosa Parks, as you know, the 50th anniversary of what was called Bloody Sunday, March 7th, was yesterday. And of course, as those persons struggling for the right to vote tried to cross Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma and were beaten back, even though nonviolent, had horses and tear gas and everything else thrown at them, but they persevered. And I want to thank Mrs. Parks for having the trust in me to bring me aboard as we sat across and ate dinner, and she invited me to be her attorney in 1995, and I served her with honor until her death, and after her death as her trustee and also her representative. And as I know some of you may have read certain things regarding the attorneys that were involved, let me assure you that from the day I started serving Mrs. Parks until the day after, until her death, and afterwards, after her death, I never charged her one dime. The judge did not understand. All these lawyers are asking for fees, hundreds of thousands. When we sold what we had of her artifacts for over $5 million, all of them were putting in, "Adam, where's your bill?" "I have no bill. My bill was served by serving this great woman to all mankind." That was not the attitude of Adam going into Wayne State University, but that was the attitude of Adam coming out of Wayne State University. And as a Muslim, that attitude was strengthened. I thank Allah, and I thank Allah, and I thank Allah for the service that I've been able to give. Thank you so much, CAIR. Assalamu alaikum.